Yep, it says live.
Nice.
What's up, YouTube? Y'all hear us?
Right.
I presume so. We're just going to assume YouTube says you can hear us, so we're just going to trust you can hear us. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Campfire podcast. This is the Professor.
And Mitch.
And today we've got ROBNESS on the show. But before ROBNESS starts talking about all of the amazing things that are happening, let's get into the cryptocurrency news in a flash from the Crypto Mitch.
I always get out
Really,
of spot.
you're not ready. You're not ready again. Guys,
suck.
okay, everybody go to into the chat room and tell Mitch why he needs to be ready with the news.
We all witnessed a big dip this morning, and the only news that I have is from Friday. So as of Friday, big news of the day was Rothschild's, not that one, Investment Corporation snaps up 250,000 shares of Grayscale ETH Trust. Aimstone says that people can't ignore Bitcoin at 522,000. And I laugh because it's like, what, really? Yeah, okay. And Keyvan talks with Dylan about hyper Bitcoinization.
Bitcoinization?
Yeah, Bitcoinization.
Nice. That's my new favorite word.
Being the great debt jubilee. Why buy coin when you can buy Bitcoin, says Sylvan. Dive down the rabbit hole and follow the crypto curator for every news. And he is up to date, except on Sundays. He takes Sundays off, obviously. But this morning we all woke up to a red market and a lot of people were freak out mode. A lot of people were in buy mode. Yeah. And a lot of people were just in hodl mode and not even looking at the market. So where were you this morning when you seen the market? What was your mindset?
Can I answer this? Or
absolutely, you can answer that.
All right, so I woke up this morning literally and go, oh, and again, like literally,
right? Exactly.
It's you just get slugged so many times on the face. It's just like, oh, okay, let's keep going. I mean, I think that's what everybody's kind of feeling. It's kind of weird, but I mean, I imagine like the big traders are probably trying to make some moves, and it's probably gonna just. I mean, it obviously dipped, but like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just really didn't think too much of it, man. I was just like, okay, it's just gonna go back up again. Don't worry,
Yeah, right. It's like after riding it to 3,000, you're sitting here like, oh, it's 50,000. It dipped back to 48,000, or like today, it was 63,000. Dips back to like, what is it, 55, 56 right now? You're like, we're still over 50,000. Fuck you.
Right? Yeah, I was like, how quickly can I make it to the coin flip ATM and go buy some crypto?
Yeah, I'm like, guys, we're not at 450K yet. What the heck's going on?
Right.
450K, and we have some other problems that we need to worry about for the dollar side of things. So things got
but it's funny because like even if it drops, let's just say it drops to 30K, right? What's the big deal? I mean, we all know it's going to go back up anyways. So I don't see why traders are so rash to make any moves right now. They should just hold it and just stay strong with the market and just let it go to where it needs to go. Stop moving the chips around on the tables, man. Just keep it in one place. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, let's get to the more important rabbit holes here, and let's see what would happen if you had the option to replace your skin with any material you could think of. What would you replace it with, and why?
Oh man, that's all right. Great question, man. Any material? Oh, graphene.
Nice.
Why? Yeah, because. Well, it's technically the toughest material, and it's conductible apparently. So yeah. So they say even if an elephant, was standing on a pin needle, it wouldn't even be able to pierce it. So yeah, graphene skin. Give it to me, and I can charge everybody's phone at the same time. So
it sounds like a new NFT that's about to happen. Graphene ROBNESS. Yeah, there we go.
Sounds like something I gotta look up. Graphene. I'm writing this down now. What the hell is graphene?
Mitch is gonna be building it in his shed tomorrow.
the first time I heard about graphene was like, oh, it's the next Teflon or something. I don't know what news article it was. It's probably some bullshit article with like, yes, it's for military and blah blah blah. And so I checked it out. And I'm like, whoa, this is actually some pretty badass shit, But apparently, I mean, it's like. Shoot, this is probably like 4 years ago or 5 years ago when I read it. But to make the material like per sheet, it takes a lot, because it's all microscopic level threading. Like if you look at the actual material, it's all like like a lattice, but it's like super strong. And, apparently conductible. So yeah, graphene, baby.
That's awesome. You gonna paint it, or is it all gonna be? You gonna have like LED panels all over you?
I don't know. See, that's the thing. I haven't
just
looked more into it, where it's like, can it, display crypto art on me too? I don't even know. Like, is it good for like phone screens? I have no idea. So I have to look more into it. But
you got to get you some vibranium to go with it.
Yeah, an adamantium,
Yeah, adamantium, vibranium.
I was gonna say that. I'm like, but wait, man. Everybody probably would say that. Everybody
wants that. Cool, right?
Yeah, you start talking about displaying crypto art and that kind of stuff, and it makes me think about walking through Vegas and places like New York and Singapore, and there's just buildings that are just covered in essentially LEDs, and just the entire building is a screen, right?
Yeah.
You can start buying NFTs to own a space on there, and then you can display whatever the hell you want. Like, it already is happening in certain places, for sure. I just can't wait until the next 2 or 3 years. Everything that's taken hold already this year, as far as moving into the mainstream space, is just setting the stage for what the real innovation that we're going to see in the next couple of years. So, above and beyond that, what kind of things are you thinking are going to really change that we're not expecting?
Because everybody's talking about the metaverse. Everybody's like going virtual, and they got like crypto voxels, Decentraland, Somnia Space. Everybody's like focusing their energies there. But honestly, like I talk with Max Osiris about this all the time. I'm like, man, I want more like public gatherings. I want more people going into like physical spots and stuff. So for me, like I'm looking at like the augmented reality space, and I think that'll be like a nice combination of both, best of both worlds in a sense. I won't be able to fly, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
maybe you will.
Yeah.
You might be able to.
Who knows? Yeah. But for instance, like, they got that Super World app, you can start buying like virtual real estate. So like, I've been going ham on that. Like, I got like 3rd Street Promenade, Sunset Strip. I'm just buying plots everywhere. But for me, like, I'm thinking what you're saying is like, turn it into like, cyberpunk Japan, just shit's just flying in your face, like all this stuff. But yeah, it'd be cool to retrofit actual like city blocks and shit. That'd be really tight.
Well, yeah, as soon as we can like take those property spaces that you bought and actually invite people and congregate there, and everybody in VR hanging out in whatever state or wherever it's at.
Yeah.
And being able to hang out in your computer on your real estate that you own that's going to be just
wild,
mind blowing.
For me, yeah. Cause like, for me, it's like, I always think like, like what if I was at a bar, like, it's like, for some reason, I always put myself in a bar situation. Like, it has to be like around that kind of, I don't know why, but if I was in a bar and I walked out the street, I always wanted to see something cool, I could put some shades on and boing, like all of a sudden the whole street would change, and
yep.
And there could be many different types, like I was, at first I really didn't know like the details of like the super world and how it worked and stuff. And then I like heard a couple interviews, and then basically they said, you can have multiple like different ways that people could use the street. So for instance, like 3rd Street Promenade, like Disney could own the whole 3rd Street and do their whole thing on there. And you can tap into that. So the whole street would be like Disney themed or Star Wars themed or whatever. So you can have more than one, which I thought was pretty cool. So, every street can look different to somebody else, it depends on, it's like flipping on a channel almost, so that's kind of weird, like an augmented reality channel, like, oh, put it on channel 3. It's like, boom, like cyberpunk style or Frontier Days or some shit. You know what I mean? It's just like, wild, so.
AR is going to change things for sure in so many ways, and going both directions too, like bringing the physical into the metaverse and vice versa. So, and like the marketing space is going to evolve so intensely. As much as users we don't like targeted marketing, when you start thinking about, you look on 3rd Street and you're looking at all the Disney themed everything in the metaverse or whatever you're looking through, you just put your sunglasses on and you're seeing all these updated advertisements. They're going to be targeted to you. Everybody's going to see something different. It's not going to be the same ad that everybody walks by. It's going to be fucking tailored just exactly to you, just like your online ads are. So it's kind of a weird merger between the two worlds, and it really opens up a lot of possibilities.
I think it's totally cool and scary all in one.
Yeah. Who knows? How the streets will, be retrofitted, or what kind of, I don't know. Even Playboy could have a street. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm going
Triple X Street. Like, what's going on here? Like, oh, look, go down this alley. Like.
Right. Nothing like looking at a bunch of old guys in red robes, right? So, so Rob, let me ask you let's go back a little bit. You finally got it. Let's go back a little bit. And what got you into the crypto space? It wasn't NFTs, right? You've been in this before NFTs. So what brought you in and what kept you here?
Yeah. So 2014, it's when Bitcoin hit 1,000, and so I had some friends that were like, talking about it, and just through random, conversation circles, I heard about it. But I had a buddy that was like sitting in a coffee shop, and I'll never forget it, man. Like, he was sitting there, he had his laptop open, and like, I won't say who it is, but like, he had Silk Road on. Like, I actually got to see Silk Road like live, and he was ordering shit. And I go, "What are you getting, dude?" He's like, "Oh yeah, man, I only buy from 5-star sellers." And it's not, I started laughing. I'm like, wait a minute, they rate the freaking sellers on this shit? So it's like, it was like literally like Amazon. I shit you not, man. You go down these freaking things and it's like 5-star, 4-star sellers, they want to retain their, their clout and so forth. So after that, at first I was skeptical, but when I saw it, I was like, okay, I'm going down the rabbit hole. I want to learn everything about this shit, because this is amazing, And then, you start looking up the Andreas Antonopoulos videos and all that stuff. And then you start hearing about the altcoins. Then I got into Dogecoin, which is cool because it's making a huge ass comeback. All that stuff. The only coin I actually could mine back in the day was Dogecoin. Actually, I could download the client and actually mine the shit, which is
right.
It was kind of cool just to like experience that. Being a miner, like, and seeing the shit, come into your wallet like that. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so, so most of that whole time was just doing Bitcoin, just buying it, doing some trades on some exchanges, and then just testing out the altcoins and stuff. But like the altcoins, it was like only like, about 10 of them on CoinMarketCap. If you look at the screenshot back in 2014, it's like
right.
10 coins, it's like, that was it, And so basically it was just that, just experimenting with it and messing with it. And, I basically I stayed in the space because there was so many like different projects going on, and they're all trying to do something with their blockchain, and I just kept researching. And then all of a sudden I saw Vitalik and his Ethereum presentation, and I was like, this is going to change the world. And like, nobody believed me. They're like, no, it's just another shit coin. I'm like, no, this is going to fucking change the world. So I had to wait a couple of years to finally see people like change their mind. But yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it. And then like 2016 was when I got into crypto art, and I found Counterparty and stuff.
It cracks me up how people think of Ethereum still today as a shit coin, and it's like, look at everything that's been built on Ethereum. All these new projects, all of these new ventures. I mean, NFTs, all kinds of stuff have been built on the Ethereum network. Yeah, gas fees suck, but right? There's no way around that. Gas fees suck, but there's no other platforms that have had as much development within them and on them as Ethereum has. I'm sorry, and I'm not telling anybody to run out and go buy Ethereum, but you can't downplay its value.
Yeah, really, I had some buddies that were, like Bitcoin maximalists, and it's weird because it's like, it kind of cracks me up how like people can be so open-minded up to an extent, It's like Bitcoin, when they got there, like, yeah, screw everything, man, we're going to take the banks down, and then they like got into cult theory, and then all of a sudden they just stayed there. And it's kind of weird though, because it's like jumping from chain to chain is like, it's like a religion almost, so like Bitcoiners jumping to Ethereum is like a big leap for some reason.
Right.
Like,
it's weird, isn't it?
It is weird, but yeah, I guess it's like maybe they'll have some like psychologists figure that out or some shit, like blockchain religions, or
right.
But yeah, I took the leap finally, getting the MetaMask and stuff, and just testing it out. And then honestly, using the MetaMask was like kind of like the deal breaker. I was like, oh, this is cool. This Web3 shit is cool.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned earlier when you said you were talking about Dogecoin and how you couldn't really do nothing with it, but you could mine it, right?
Yeah.
And so the experience, and I think what a lot of people that are in this space, there's almost 2 or 3 different mindsets in this space. One mindset is solely making money. The other mindset is I'm enjoying the experience.
Yeah.
And the other mindset is what more can we create? Right. And I think those 3 mindsets all kind of tend to work together in some regards.
Yeah.
But the people that are solely focused on just the money, I think they're very on the shallow end of the pool.
Yeah. Well, okay. Like the Bitcoin maximalists, like, I mean, most of their dimension is just trading. You know.
Yes.
Like if you really think about it, that's all they're kind of doing right now. Is like, oh, like hodl, or where was your next come up on the exchange or trading or something like that. That's about it. I mean, I don't even know. Technically, I guess it would be like an Ethereum maximalist right now, because I haven't been researching anything that's going on with Bitcoin. Like they're talking about smart contracts possibly coming out, this and that. But what you were saying about, Mitch, what you were saying about the development, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's half the battle. It's just getting tons of people working on it,
Right.
And they're just like freaking light years away now. And the Bitcoin people are like, no, screw that shit. I'm like, dude, they're on a rocket ship flying away.
You're getting left behind, bro.
Yeah, seriously.
What drives me fucking crazy about it is that they're two totally different use cases. Like they're really not even competing things. I mean, in certain aspects they are, but they're also not.
Yeah. Like for me, like Bitcoin to me is doing the job it's supposed to be doing. Like it's like holding the entire economy together. Like when Bitcoin drops, right? Like people even the Ethereum people or anybody on other blockchains, they pretend like it's not happening. But when Ethereum tanks, just like it did today, everybody felt it. Like, you know what I mean? Bitcoin goes down, your shit goes down no matter what, And if it gets traded on an exchange, it goes down even further. And that's what we don't realize. So
unless you're in Theta goes opposite Bitcoin. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's like, I just look at Bitcoin like the big cruise ship. It's getting bigger. It's getting bigger to the point where billionaires won't be able to rock the boat no more. And finally, like all the other boats attached to it won't be rocking like crazy when it makes moves.
We're all a bunch of dinghies hooked up to the big boat.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And we're just waiting for the big boat to finally stabilize and not get dinged around by some billionaires. They're just flexing their way. So yeah, that's the way I kind of look at it, man. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like sometimes I jump into those like Bitcoin maximalist like clubhouse rooms, and I just go in there to laugh, because it's like, I'm just like, oh my God, you guys should just try MetaMask, man. Just give it a shot. Buy some NFTs, man. Buy some music or some shit or some crypto art, You'll get sucked in quick. Like I know them. Yeah. They'll get sucked in quick, man, when they buy an art piece and they realize they can flip it, or if they're good at it. But I don't know. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
So gas fees came up earlier, and they seem to be a topic in the chat right now. So let's talk about gas fees a little bit. Obviously, they're crazy high right now because the usage has gone up, plus ETH has gone up as a result of that. So now there's a double effect on the gas fees. This is obviously an early iteration of the software that's being built. It does evolve. Things do change. Gas fees go down or away if we end up on the right proof of stake system. There's a lot of risks that go along with that. There's a lot of difficulties to overcome to make it work. But ultimately, I think if they find that solution, Ethereum is going to be a totally viable option for a long period of time. What do you think the possibilities are as far as, do you think ETH 2.0 is actually going to solve this problem? Do you think proof of stake is actually going to work on Ethereum? Do you think that maybe layer 2 or third-party solutions are better?
Yeah, I think, I don't know. It's weird, man. I mean, they the ETH 2 with the proof of stake, I'd have to honestly, like, I'd have to start messing with it and see. But they say that the gas fees are going to go down, but I don't know, man. It's weird. I think the interoperable chains is what's going to be the future, in my opinion, because it just seems like it's going like that. You got the polka dots, and you got Chainlink doing their stuff. All this stuff's starting to like swarm around, and once it connects, I don't think I don't know, man. I could see the gas fees going down because of that. All that stuff kind of coming into the space and kind of like helping out. The gas fees will go down for sure. I know Vitalik is like on it like crazy. And
oh yeah, there's a lot of brains behind it, that's for sure.
Yeah,
you made kind of an interesting point though about it's almost like the situation we have right now with Bitcoin and Ethereum and then other quote unquote shit coins is Bitcoin has this stature of dominance because it is the most decentralized, more or less. I mean, that's not necessarily the case when you start looking at mining pools and percentages and things like that. But I mean, at face value, we like to think of Bitcoin as being the most decentralized cryptocurrency out there. It's run by the most number of nodes. It's most spread out amongst the people, right?
Yeah.
With Ethereum, you have that with proof of work. If you move to proof of stake, then that obviously shifts the control to the people that are running the mining. farms and actually doing the mining to the people that have the most Ethereum, which causes its own concerns. But then, of course, you're not having to pay for gas fees to run the machines to do the mining. But you might end up in a situation where proof of stake doesn't work. So you end up back on proof of work, and you're actually still mining with Ethereum, and your gas fees are still high. But because of layer 2 solutions and other, sub projects that spawn from Ethereum, you might end up in a situation where ETH is that like still kind of slow, still kind of expensive, clunky backend, but we have those layer 2 and layer 3 solutions that run really smoothly. Like, I mean, there's some out there right now that are working. And then we just kind of maintain that instead of switching Ethereum and worrying about those gas fees. So there's kind of other ways to look at it too. And I think there's going to be a lot of failures, but I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what actually become the successes.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's like, there's been like some talk about Flow blockchain and like, what they're doing, but it just seems like, every project now is becoming like, like chain minded, so to speak. Like, how much are we going to be bloating this thing? Should we build an off ramp for it? And I don't know if there's a way where, they can make sure that the data is like protected on the main chain, which, I would hope that would be the case. I'm not sure. I haven't used Flow too much, but I would hope that soon that like they can do that. Because I remember like there was a project on Bitcoin. It was called Factum. I don't know what happened to those guys, but that project, what they were trying to do is like reduce like Bitcoin blockchain bloat by having another chain, and like every 10 minutes they would be inputting data into the chain as a hash, and then that hash would connect to that chain and provide all the data, like records, bank records, everything, and anything you needed recorded, like a big like encyclopedia of shit. Like every 10 minutes it'd be verified on the main chain. So like I'm not sure like what people are doing with that, but I mean that sounds like a pretty damn good idea. But yeah, man, I think it's just going to be a lot of like different projects like trying to make off ramps that are just for their own shit. I think like Axie Infinity is like doing something like that with the games and stuff like that, like to just manage their own like ecosystem, So yeah, I don't know. That's what I kind of think is going to happen. But yeah, I mean the gas fees will go down a little bit. But dude, there's gonna be so many people using Ethereum. You know what I mean? Like,
right, exactly.
Like I already know that's coming, man. It's like the whole world is gonna be using this shit. So
the only way the gas fees go down is if there's a major change in the software. Obviously that what's using. So it's going to be a matter of whether or not proof of stake is successful, or if we find a better way of using proof of work. So, or I mean, of course, that's comparing two consensus mechanisms out of an unlimited number of whatever you can conceive as a consensus mechanism. So maybe there's things that we haven't even thought about yet that are going to be so obvious to us in 2 years, but we'll see.
I remember like, it was like 2014 into 2015, like every altcoin was trying to do a new algorithm, when Monero came out, like I remember when Monero came out, it was like, what sorcery is this? Everyone was like, what the fuck is Kryptonite? What is this? And everyone's trying to, then they realized like, holy shit, the guy built it from scratch. Like this is like some totally new ass code. So, so yeah, I mean, that was back then. So, I mean, even, possibly in the future that people will still be like inventing new, like maybe, I don't know, schematics for the chains and stuff. So who knows?
Oh yeah. We'll come up with all sorts of creative ways. I mean, proof of work was basically a kind of a genius way of taking a physical limitation, or something that's, expensive in the real world and force software to be slow and do a lot of work to prove that they're putting value into this to legitimize their findings. Basically, it's kind of hard to summarize, that in a sentence, but we're going to find all kinds of new ways, and forcing people to use immense amounts of electricity to do that is the first way that we found that works. And then forcing people to hold large amounts of tokens is the second way that we found that works. And there's, third, fourth, fifth, there's 500 ways that we found that work, sort of, but they all have massive limitations. So,
and as long as it's decentralized, that's the biggest thing for me. Like Bitcoin, the magic of Bitcoin is that nobody knows what Satoshi is. I think that's the biggest thing, I mean, like,
that could be a double-edged sword, though. We don't know who Satoshi is. He could be total philanthropist that did this for humanity. Yeah. And it could be governments that created this for documentation of everybody's transactions. So I mean,
yes,
there's two sides to Satoshi. That could be.
I have thrown out that theory. You know, like this is like some DARPA level shit. You know,
it is. It really is.
So if you had to pick your official theory on Satoshi, like the one that you believe in the most, what do you think?
Me? Oh man, everyone's gonna hate me for saying it, man. But I'm almost where Mitch is at, man. You know, when you drop some stuff like that, you know. Oh, by the way, I'm just gonna drop this on the cryptography forum, and you guys just have fun with it.
And create this for humanity, but nobody knows who I am because I don't want the credit.
Yeah. And don't question me if I don't have time to answer if you don't understand.
Right.
What is that famous Satoshi quote? If you don't understand, then I just don't have time to explain to you, you know?
Right.
But it's like, I mean, I've talked with people about this, and it's like, you know, it's a bunch of things that were invented before that, and finally someone was able to put it together. But it's like, I don't know, man. You know, I've used this shit for the last, 7 years, and I just find it astonishing that this technology is so bulletproof that hasn't been hacked, hasn't been broken. And it's like, I'm like, man, this is. If I was to pull some shit out of the DARPA labs, man, this would be it. You know, so I don't know, but a part of me also, wishes to believe that there is like some benevolent force out there that just wanted to drop some shit and just level the house
and benefit humanity.
Yeah. And there's also the theories of aliens dropped it too, which I thought was hilarious. Like
I love that theory.
Here's a gift, So there's that too. So
right.
I'm down with that one.
Yeah,
that one fell down my pant leg though. I didn't quite catch that one, but the other ones, I got a little bit behind.
Yeah, here's a gift to humanity. Like restrain yourselves, people. I don't know.
But, I can see it.
I mean, gifts to humanity are there, but people have to find them, and people have to know what to do with them when they receive them. Somebody can find a large sum of money, but unless they have pure intentions on what to do with that money could be more harm to them than good.
Right. Yeah. Too much of a good thing. Yeah.
Gifts are two-sided. You have to know what to do with them when you receive them.
Yeah. No. Maybe the trustless thing was
for sure.
We know you guys can't handle this good thing. So this is I don't know, man.
I love the decentralization of crypto. To me, that is 100% everything that flows through my being as far as faith in cryptocurrency, because of the fact that it's decentralized.
Yeah.
That there is no one that can manipulate it. You can't change the code, without forking it. There's so many things you can't do to it. You can't counterfeit it, so there's just a lot of benefits to it that I see. And plus giving us the abilities to hold our own value, to hold our own money.
Yeah, just total control over it. And when I got into it, I still feel the same way as I do back then. You just look at like what it's done. Even the fact that Coinbase went public, and then did you guys hear about that? What was his name? He died on the same day that Coinbase came out. What was it?
I don't remember his name, but
Bernie Madoff passed away on the same day. It was so weird. But
it was kind of an odd coincidence. It's like
very odd, man. But anyways, you see all this stuff that's manifested, man, and just by someone just dropping some code on the internet. It's just like, it's crazy. There's this video I've seen. I was trying to find it the other day, but I couldn't find it. But someone managed to grab all of the Bitcoin Talk forum posts, and all the identities and stuff, and make this long visualization graph of just people just working on Bitcoin. So it starts off with Satoshi as like a little dot, and then here are the other cryptographers, and they're working, and then all of a sudden it grows into this, my big mycelium cloud. It's just fucking crazy, and then you see Ethereum pop out and all this stuff, but you see the germination and just how it grew, and it's just freaking wild,
It's a hell of a family tree, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. And yeah, and then you see it break off. It's like,
just look at cryptocurrency as a family, right? And Bitcoin is the head, and then it just grows into this tree that just branches and branches and branches and branches to infinity.
Yeah,
there is no end to this. There really isn't. The only end to this is the end of humanity, if you think about it.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing too, is that if you want to work on it, you can. You just you got an idea, just jump on a network and start going at it. And
yep.
You don't have to ask permission. You don't have to, just go. And same with Ethereum too. Build your project there. do something, you know, and prove your worth, I guess. So yeah, it's sick, you know. Oh, cheers, by the way.
So
cheers. Yeah. Cheers. let's get around in, guys. Sip.
Got my Bloody Mary in, man.
So most importantly, urinals or trash cans?
Trash cans, man. Hey, you know what though? I mean, honestly, I'm like blessed that it's even compared to shit. I mean, one of the greats. I mean, that's just, you know, like when I got that article written up on Cointelegraph, that was just awesome.
Yeah.
Derek Klein, the guy who wrote that, man, you know, much blessings to him. But yeah, I mean, that was pure rage art when I made it, you know?
Yeah.
You know, my buddy Max was kicked off and, you know, I was like, nah, what the fuck is going on here? You know? And then, you know, I'm getting my art called, you know, my art's getting called trash. And I'm just like, okay, you know what? I was like on some, I told people like I was on some run, man. I was thinking about it. I was like, you know, I'm just going to own this. Screw this, man. Like punk rockers did it. Everybody did it before me and said, you know what? These are fucking trash gifts. And watch me make more of them.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and then, you know,
it started a thing. It started
much love to John Crane and Super Rare, by the way. The story's old, you know, like water under the bridge now. It's more of a
it's history at this point.
Yeah. And so, but you know, what's cool, man, is that, you know, different people take different meanings to it now. It's like my meaning to it was, you know, was just like, I'm trashing this place and I'm pissed off and, you know, check that out, you know, but, you know, people take it as like freedom of expression. And that was really kind of what it was to begin with anyways. So that's kind of like on point anyways, but like, you know, freedom of expression or just do what I want, or, you know, so many people are taking different, you know, interpretations of it. And shit, that's the beauty of art, really, you know?
Yeah,
so
that's the whole point of it. I mean, trash art really, it begs that question to make you, like, everybody asks the question, what is art? You know, it's the thing. It's the one question that anybody asks in the art world for whatever reason. But it's like so embodied in the trash art thing that it's like, is it what you're looking at, or is it what went into what you're looking at that creates the art? Or is it both, or is it either or? I mean, and you can argue either way successfully and unsuccessfully at the same exact time, because that's what it is. That's the whole point of art, is that it's not any one thing. It can't be defined because it's totally interpretive no matter what you look at it.
Yeah. And, you know, for me too, it's like people that hated on it, I'm cool with that. You know, like I'd rather have people love it or hate it. If it's like deadpan, like in the middle, then for me, that's boring art, I guess. I don't know.
It's got to spike interest, whether it's positive or negative interest. If it's just getting ignored, then what's the point?
Yeah. It's just, you know, you made it, it's cool, and that's it. But
honestly, the only boring art should be something that really didn't have a lot of heart or thought put into it.
Yeah.
To me, that would be the only real boring art, you know, because you can tell the difference, I think, if you look at a piece that was moved by emotion and developed by emotion and passion, and you can look at a piece that was just slapped together hoping to make some money, right? And you could totally tell the difference between those two. Yeah, there's people that have natural God-given talents that can do this stuff in their sleep, and there's other people that have to work at it, and that's okay, right? Because it's just like anything, the more you do something, the better you become at it. But as long as you're doing it for the right reasons, I think is my thought process behind it. And I love seeing this evolution, and you guys get so in depth and so like just totally intense about all of the NFT and the artwork. And I'm still, like I tell the professor, I'm still on the edge of that hole, just kind of peeking over, going, God, I'm looking back at all this shit I got to do. And then I'm looking down there going, that's a lot of fun down there. I'm about ready to jump, you know?
Yeah. You know, it's really like, I'm thinking too, with all the stuff that's going on, even with all the famous people coming in and trying to make their drops happen. Like, for me, it's all good, because I feel like the whole world is going back to art school, and that's a damn good thing. You know, I can't wait. Here we go, to go to a bar and like have a conversation, and like someone brings up like Basquiat or Andy Warhol or Van Gogh or Picasso, or, you know what I mean, just because they read it last week. But that's for me, that's important, you know, because like most of the topic conversations, and luckily for me, I'm a musician, but you know, it's like, you know, what record you listen to, what music do you listen to, you know, it's a very popular conversation piece, you know. Like, when was the last time someone goes, oh man, what art do you look at? It's like, what? You know what I mean? Like this is not a normal conversation piece of
not at all.
art. Yeah, but
it's definitely bringing art to the mainstream. It's bringing art to the forefront of people's mindsets and people's thought processes, and that's really cool because there's a lot of dying arts, so to speak, right? There's a lot of dying trades, a lot of dying crafts. Like, let me give one for example: a plasterer, people that used to do the wet plaster finish. If you're lucky in any given state that you live in, you might find one or two that can still do the old stuff.
Sure.
And so that's a dying art, and it's really unique to see art in general come back in a different format and a different form, and people can hold it and look at it and view it differently than what we're accustomed to doing so in the past. It's not on a piece of canvas, it's on my canvas screen, my screen. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and I think too, it's like with people like enjoying like crypto art and that aesthetic, and just most of it's kind of futurist, like in concept, and everything's moving, everything has to be a GIF or an MP4 now and all that stuff. But like I think too, it's like the appreciation for all the old stuff will come back as well, which I think is kind of funny because there's like so much pushback from like the old art world. And I don't think they realize that like the appreciation for their stuff will like come about,
They're just jealous.
Yeah.
Honestly. Well, they're jealous, and they're offended that people without education in the arts, people without, college degrees in the arts, people without the requisites of becoming an artist, right, are creating art and making monies that these old school people had never even dreamed of. That's why they were called starving artists, right? But there's no such thing really in today's NFT space as a starving NFT artist. There just isn't.
There is now. Sorry. After 2 months ago, there is, but
it's become not a rat race, but man,
it's a little saturated.
The swarm is
totally saturated.
But I will say though that 99% of the shield is actually pretty decent. I mean, like, it seems to be an influx of actually pretty talented people. There's just a crap load of them. I mean, there's the off times you see some person who's just out here putting weird stuff together to try and make money, but at the same time, most of the time there's still artistic value in a lot of the stuff that you see, unless it's a lot of these like blatant rip-offs of punks and stuff like that don't have any artistic uniqueness. But we'll not get into that. But again, it's so objective though, right? Like, who am I to say it's not, right? So but that's what I mean though, is there's been this huge influx has been really positive in my opinion. I mean, it's been tough on the market because it's spread the funding it's also sort of resulted in a very large clustering of the majority of the funds into already established artists, because we know that speculatively these people are safe to buy from. We think so anyway, right? But it's really beautiful to see all this the traditional art world just dive into something. We talk about mass adoption in the crypto space every day, and we're seeing it with NFTs. And so there's no reason we shouldn't be totally excited about this. If it slumps the market a little bit just because it spreads it thin, whatever. Time will heal that.
It's just a natural thing, And, I think a lot of the original crypto artists are fine, man. They've already embedded themselves in the whole like sphere. I mean, like Max and myself, we've sold about like 500, 600 plus individual pieces, and those pieces are flying around. Right. So sometimes like Max is like my brother now at this point, and sometimes, I get down, he gets down. I gotta, pull him back up. He pulls me back up. But we tell each other like, look, man, we did a lot of work the last 2 years, man. We've got a lot of shit out there, and it's doing its thing. And people are looking back and they're reading about the pieces, what we were doing back then. And it's cool, So I think there's like this unnecessary worry about a lot of the artists that were before, about all the new stuff coming in. And I think they're gonna be okay, man. But yeah, like all this stuff, man, the bottom line is that like art will be like appreciated in the masses, and that's like super important to me, because I really think honestly, like musicians, damn, do they need to go back to art school? Like straight up, man. Like we need some new Brian Ferries and shit, like from the 80s, man. All those guys were like, like David Bowie's, all of them they knew their artwork.
Yngwie Malmsteens and Jeff Becks and
Yeah, just get that other side of things, just to realize that, like, you know, the art world, man, there's some stuff you can take from that. It's like there's been a couple of people I talked to like the last couple of weeks, and they asked me, oh, you know, what was your first introduction to fine art? I'm like, nothing really, but the one thing that I remember was, you know, I went to, like, you know, Tower Records back in the day, and I was like, you know, 12, walking through the aisles, and I saw like this like one album with the banana on it. You know, it was the Velvet Underground and Nico album. You know, and that was my first introduction, like, to Andy Warhol, and I didn't even know that was Andy Warhol until I read the liner notes when I went home and played the weird record at the time. You know, listened to it, I'm like, what is this crazy music? You know, like psychedelic 60s shit. And then, like, you know, that was my first introduction of like art and music combination. Like that was an actual project and stuff. So I guess I am kind of influenced by Warhol in a sense, you know, and some things that I do. But yeah, like that was my first introduction to it. But it'd be nice to see a lot of musicians start to really like kind of like, you know, divert their attention a little bit to the art world and like see what the hell is out there. You know, it's good.
Warhol's really got some pretty kick-ass pieces, I must say.
Yeah, man,
he really does.
He played the game well, man. He knew what he was doing.
You know, there's something to be said about like industrialism.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to artwork, I really enjoy looking at that. And then you have the surrealism and just so many different things. But let me get off topic just a little bit here, Rob, and ask you this question: if you could have one superpower, what would it be, and what would you use it for?
Oh man, superpower. Oh, damn. This I'm trying to think here. What the hell?
So you got to ask these questions. It's just the
no.
timings,
I mean,
you know,
I'm so bad at improv, so you have to like bear with me here. I'm like, my Cro-Magnon brain is like short-circuited it.
It's one of those things that's way too many options.
Superpower, man. Superpower. I don't know, man. See, okay, you know what it is? Like, I get so many thoughts that like come in my head and like already like preconceived things that like I want to build, and I want things. It'd be nice to just manifest it, you know.
So let's rephrase it, or let's, you know, reconstruct that question to say, if there was one thing in the world that bothered you the most, what would you like to be able to do to change that? How's that?
Yeah. I think it's just people restraining themselves from violence. I think it's like the number one thing that like humans have a problem with, you know, like, because a lot of these like if you go into the social issues aspect, it usually leads down to violence.
Right.
Mostly everything is like, oh, you offended me, or you know, you disagree with me, something. Soon enough, like the sword is raised. Like that's the big problem. You know what I mean? Like
instead of just allowing people to stay calm and have opinions and talk about it, let's fight about it. Right. I hear you.
Yeah. It's like your opinion really sucks. Yeah. Or your belief really sucks. But then it gets down to like anger, and then it's like, and then boom, clash, you know, humans clash. Like for me, it's like, just restrict the violence, y'all, you know, like, because really like that person might be a super dick, but at least he's not like coming after you with like a freaking hammer or some shit. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, he's a dick, don't talk to him ever again. That's it. Right. You know? But everything boils down to violence, man. That's just a human fallacy that we have. And I think once we get beyond that, I think a lot of things will be a lot cooler, you know? So for me, just be the referee.
So basically get rid of the alpha males and just make everybody on the same level.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, one thing is like, we're males too, though. It's like, that's our natural, you know, what are we gonna do? Like, X that
testosterone.
Yeah, we can't X that out, like, you know.
Right.
But when it gets down to it, it's like, okay, when someone's ready to do that, it's like, no, just stop, you know.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
I think everything will be cool after that. So
that's cool.
I mean, it's a weird answer, but that's.
I like it. It sparks some conversation. That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some boring stuff, like the psychological effect of how strongly NFTs have taken hold in the mainstream. Particularly like with school systems, there's always seems like this drive to defund the art programs and pull them out because people don't seem to think that they're valuable. That's not always the case, but it seems to be a real problem. Art and music always seem to take the strongest of the hits when it comes to funds cutting and stuff like that. So do you think that this like newfound awareness of the art world is going to change that in the long run? I mean, right now people seem to have two visions of art. It's either what you did as a kid, or you're sipping $1,000 glasses of wine looking at $1 million paintings. Like there's an in between, but people don't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, you know, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's like, you know, with this new like NFT industry, because it's weird. Like the industry is like an industry of industries. It's going to touch every industry, you know? So like when people say NFTs, it's like for right now, they're thinking of like crypto art and, you know, maybe like collectibles and stuff, but that stuff is going to permeate to almost everything. You know, it's going to film. Well, I released a book on there too, like on Rarible, just try different things, release music and stuff. But I mean, I think when it comes to the money, you know, possibly, you know, the school systems will divert their attention. Like, you know, maybe we should bring back the art programs again. Do you know what I mean? Like, I hate to say that, but you know, that is a primary motivator, and
it is.
It would be nice to see it come back. But you know, another thing too is like, I don't know who makes these calls, man, because like the arts are very important, man. It promotes free thinking, you know. And see, that's the thing. Is like maybe they don't want that. Maybe don't.
It promotes free thought. It promotes creativity. It promotes, you know, different kinds of motor skill training and different mindset you know, thought processes. There's so many things that the arts do for people that create us. They kind of keep that human part of us together.
Yeah, it's creativity.
You know? Exactly.
God-given gift, you know. And so for me, like when they kill those programs, like, see, the thing is, I think the people that do that, they don't realize like how important like the act of creativity is, like engendered into like a human being.
Because they're stuck on a dollar value.
Yeah, and so primarily, right? And so like, but if you rob them of showing them the possibilities that could also be a benefit to other things, you know. So like, you can still have all those other classes and courses and stuff like that, but if you have like a nice artistic background, you can look at things from different angles, you know. That's how the arts are, you know. It's always thinking weird, out of the box, all this and that, you know. And that applies to, you know, I mean, most of the, you know, the people who invent shit, you know, they always have different, you know, like Da Vinci, man, he was like, you know, master of many different angles, and he could look at things from different vantage points, and that's how he would be able to, you know, make all this amazing shit. And so so when they take stuff out like that, it's like you're kind of setting the human race back, because you never know where, you know, that training could apply to other things, you know, even in like industry and stuff, you know. So
well, it's definitely taking away from the growth of children into what we become as adults, for sure. And you know, like I said earlier, it has to do, it's got to do with dollars and cents, because that's what these people that make these calls do. Well, we got to cut something, so you know, let's cut art. They don't need art. When sometimes the cost of something is minuscule in proportion to the cost of deleting something.
Right.
And that cost isn't a realized cost to them, but it's realized over time and over years and generations. And so I think that's one of the struggles of these adjudicators, or whatever you want to call them, of today, when it comes to balancing budgets and all that stuff for schools and teaching our kids. They're not looking at the bigger cost of what they are causing.
Yeah, and
in my opinion,
we could be going through that, you know. I mean, shoot, there's like, you know, literacy rates going up and shit, and all this and that. It's like that could be it. You never know. I don't know, man. I'm definitely hopeful the next decade though, with the crypto art stuff and the promotion of the arts. Back into the mainstream. I mean, soon enough, music's going to come in, and I'm going to like try my best to be part of that. Believe me, like what happened with crypto art and all the unknown people from all over the globe coming up and I want the same thing to happen to music, man. I don't want it to be just, you know, just a hipster back Silver Lake, you know, like fuck all that. Like that's just my opinion. I'm from LA. That's me coming out. I want to see some real crazy shit. I want to see some futuristic devos. I want to see some crazy people come out, you know. Shoot, bands from Japan, you know, just tons of stuff, you know.
Shit that sounds we've literally never heard before at all. Like this seems to have come up on every of the last 3 or 4 live streams we've done, but Async is doing that programmable music now, which is like fucking cool as shit. I mean, and that's just the beginning of what is going to happen with music on the blockchain. And of course, NFTs are going to go so far outside of art and music and anything. It's not even funny. But while we're on the topic of sound, let's think inside of the box with some sounds real quick. If you had to lock a sound into a box to be opened in 1,000 years from now, what sound would you lock away?
Wow. That's
that's a good one.
Oh, certain sound. Oh, what's my favorite sound, man? What's my favorite sound? Oh my God, I'm keeping people up right now. There's like so many. I'm like a sound freak, man. See, the thing is, if it was on a different planet too, like if it was on Mars, right? The sound of the ocean, I'd like to keep track, because they wouldn't even know what the hell that sounds like. Like, what is this? You know.
Hey, in a couple hundred years, people might not know what that sounds like anyways.
All right. So yeah, I know the sound of the ocean. Yeah,
there we go.
You know, you never know. That.
You never do.
He's on a death planet, dude. Like, what is this? What is this natural?
Yeah.
So now I've got to ask: if you're locking the sound of the ocean away, are you putting it in some sort of electronic device, or are you just going to stick a seashell in the box?
Yeah. Seashells is natural. I'd probably like hook it up to some synthesizer or something elaborate. They just press it, and they can play different octaves of it. You know.
I love that.
I don't know. I think I might lock up the sound of box up the sound of a cash register.
Oh yeah, that's pretty. Yeah. That's pretty. Yeah.
Ching.
That's pretty abstract.
The old cash registers, because
people I love
be
that
like,
sound.
"What the hell's that?"
Yeah.
Nowadays, you know.
Pink Floyd did it. You know, they did it for a reason. You know.
Right.
It is. It is. Yeah, I agree. Man.
Nice. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's funny. So, all right, you're in California, and have you done a lot of traveling?
Well, it's funny because like,
I mean, before COVID, obviously.
Yeah, no, you know, it's funny. I did all my traveling before COVID. It was crazy. Like, I sold one of my rare Pepe cards for like 1 Bitcoin at the time. It was like for $10,000, and like it's crazy, man. Like somebody hit me up on a Telegram, and they're like, "I want one of those Lord Keks." I was like, "Sure." It's 1 BTC though. He's like, "That's cool." I'm like, "All right, let's do this transaction." So I went to a restaurant with my laptop, boom, got it. And I'm like, well, shoot, I guess I'm going to be traveling to Tokyo and Europe now. Screw it. I had one of my friends hook me up with one of their buddy passes, so I could just fly whatever the hell I wanted to.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, for like 1 straight year, man. Like I went to Germany, went to Paris, went to England, went to Tokyo, went to Hawaii, and just went all over the place, man. So
out of all the places that you visited, where would you want to settle down for your like, say, retirement years?
Oh, retirement. See, it's so funny. Like I say, like I'll retire when I'm dead. Like I always say that, man. But if I wanted to just chill somewhere, man, I got a picture of Bora Bora, and I want to go.
Okay.
I'd be one of those huts, man, for like a good couple months. It'd be nice, you know. Just on the water.
Yeah. That's on my bucket list, actually. I got a lot of shit on my bucket list, but one day.
That's it, man. You'll get there. Hey, you're going. You're going,
that's
man.
Right.
Man.
Mine's cheap. I'll just go hide in the mountains.
Mitch is going to Bora Bora, man.
Bora Bora, Thailand. Definitely want to go to Thailand. That's definitely
you'll get there
on the
one
tops
day.
of my list.
Maybe the Campfire will go there.
Yeah, I'm a natural anyway, so like I always have to be by the shore, you know. Like, I'm a sunset worshiper, man. Like I got a crew in Torrance, you know, Redondo Beach area, man. We got a parking spot. We all show up at certain time. Doesn't matter who it is. We crack beers and just like salute the sunset. And
that's badass.
Eating cheese pizza at the same time, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm total beach rat, dude.
That is so cool.
That's awesome.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
dude, we're definitely gonna have to meet face to face one time and hang out and at a bar.
Yeah,
and drink some beers, you know.
Dude, the timing for all of this was like when we were in LA, it was October of 2019, like right before COVID started. And then that was, we started meeting everybody who's in LA. Like we know people all over the freaking globe, but the one time we were in LA, we didn't know anybody in LA.
Right.
Except for like the 2 people that we were going there for.
Yep.
and
now, like, I mean, we probably got a list of 100 people in LA that we all just need to like invite to one place at one time and just have.
Yeah, I mean the NFT shindigs in the future, man, they're gonna be pretty epic. So.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
It's coming for sure. I think. I mean, I was talking with Frankie Nines, man. I guess he's doing something for Vegas next year. So I don't know. I might have blown that out, but oh well.
yeah.
But anyways, but like, yeah, he's like, you gotta come down. I'm like, yeah, it's getting to that point, dude. Like, there's gonna be a lot of like get-togethers and stuff. So it'd be good to see you guys in the flesh for sure.
Yeah, man. This is about to start again. We were like just kicking off our plans for traveling. Like we were like lining up everything. We had like 8 conferences ready to go.
8 different venues we were going to in 2020. So 2019.
Not canceled though. That's all on pause. We're starting over.
Right.
Yeah, I'm proud of you guys, man. You guys been hitting the paint, dude, with the podcast. So it's awesome. It's good, and you guys are doing like an amazing thing for the whole scene. So we totally need this stuff, you know.
Yeah, thanks, man. We just started this because we were doing Twitter, like the 140 character thing just wasn't cutting it, right? Like it's so hard to have a conversation when you're sitting here on your phone trying to like tweet 6 words at a time.
I know.
So we're like, let's just start a fucking podcast and invite some friends on, and this, just kind of went from there. So it's been a blast.
And then who knows, maybe in the near future we'll be doing our world tour, like you said. Now that we know people like all over the place, we can pretty much go anywhere and hang out and spend time with people all over the globe. So
yeah.
Let's just make that happen, right? So that's one of our I think that's one of the crypto campfires bucket lists that we're definitely gonna do in the next year or so. And
sounds awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to see that too, man. So, when you guys come down here too, without a doubt, man.
For sure.
We'll look you up, most definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
It's always good times. I'm stumped.
You're stumped. That's because it's been an hour already.
Cheers.
We're sitting here going like,
it's been an hour already.
How did this go so fast?
Yeah, man. If you whatever else you want to shoot, man. It's funny. I was like, maybe I gotta ask them some questions too, but I forgot.
We got one more important. Yeah, we've got one that we asked Justin Vendetta from Verge, and the answers were great. So I want to see what your responses are.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, what's been your most fun like interview? You said Gary V, but collectively, what do you think? Like,
most fun interview? Okay, this is a hard one because they're all been so fun. I think we probably laughed the most with the Wrecked podcast.
Yeah.
That one was pretty fun because I remember
Wrecked and Witty. I think
and Witty, and Witty gave us some DJ at the end.
Yeah.
But with Wrecked, we got to learn about Bunchu having to hold eggs for his Uber driver just unexpectedly, and some other thing. That was pretty funny. But I mean, we've released 130 or 140 episodes almost, and we've got 35 or 40 queued up for editing and release. So like picking a single favorite is really hard.
Yeah. Especially after that many.
Maybe we should just say that the first one was our favorite.
It was. Yeah. I would definitely have to say that episode number 1, Mitch and the professor introduced themselves. That was probably the best episode so far.
I'm pretty sure that one of the quotes at the beginning was, "We don't really know what the fuck we're doing, but here we are. So
let's have some fun."
It's so funny because like I keep making these like MTV parallels, like NFT MTV parallels, but it's like when MTV first started, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They're just like, here's a microphone, we got a camera guy,
just go for it, let it happen,
make it happen.
Like, all the VJs were just like, I'm so and so, Mark or whatever, whoever, you know what I mean? They all became names after that,
right?
But from the get go, they were a bunch of nobodies.
You just gotta wing it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think it's the same. I think it's the same thing, and I think it's really good too. Like so you guys, shoot, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
The crypto, man.
There we go.
Right.
All right. Last question of the night. Then 5 uses for a stapler other than a stapler.
5 uses for a stapler. Oh my god. Oh. 5 uses. I gotta think of 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
Justin Vendetta did it in about 2 minutes, and one of them is such a dead giveaway for you that we'll see if you get that one or not. But let's see.
It's like a dead weight giveaway, isn't it?
I'm idiot right now. 5 uses for a stapler. Oh my god.
It's not an easy question.
I'm totally gonna fail with this, man.
I'm having a hard time remembering even what the responses were.
All right, I'm coming at you with aggressive nature, and all you have to defend yourself is a fucking stapler. What are you gonna do?
I don't know, man. Easy way to like dry clothes, instead of hanging it up and just staple them on the wall. Fuck it.
But that's still using it as a stapler. That doesn't count.
Oh, see, you almost had one.
And
then Mitch denied you.
I don't know.
What did Justin came up with? A paperweight He came up with a piece of art.
That was the one that I was hoping that Rob would get, because like he turned into a piece of art. But
turned into a piece of art.
The problem is I don't have any to add to the list because I can't think of anything either.
Right. I know. No, I mean, shoot, I'm terrible at improv. I was supposed to take, that what was it, the Second City back in the day. Never did it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just blurt shit out and it works. I think that's the secret.
Right.
Improv, But
actually, right about now in today's day and age, you could probably use it'll probably take a few more years, but you could almost have your kid take it to show and tell.
Almost.
Because so many kids. What the fuck is that? What do you use that for? Paper. What's paper?
Most of the.
I mean, we're getting to that point, are we not? Everything's digital. Everything's going to be in a file somewhere on a zip drive, and nothing's going to be on paper anymore.
Yeah, writing a check.
Yeah.
I got to put my red swing line in a museum. It's getting rusty already.
Yeah.
Maybe I should turn that into an NFT. That thing's got a cool ass story. I was probably okay. So this was the year I first heard about Bitcoin, actually, which was early 2010. I didn't buy any, obviously. But it was when I first heard the word, and it was like a split second, and I didn't care anymore. And but anyway, I had no money. Like I was just going into college out of high school, and I'm like, well, 3 years out of high school, I guess, in college already. And I was like, I want a red swing line stapler. Like I just really badly want one. I just watched Office Space for the first time, and it was like stuck in my head. So I posted on Craigslist that I was looking for a red swing line stapler. I couldn't buy one for $20, but I thought maybe if I could find one on Craigslist, I could trade somebody some shit for a red stapler.
Yeah.
And somebody replied to my post, and she's like, I don't really need anything, but if you really want a red stapler, just send me your address and I'll buy you one. And me, like, privacy, I didn't give a shit. Here's my fucking address, and a red swing line showed up that like 3 to 4 days later from Amazon, and I'm like, I still have it. It's rusty, but it works.
I love that story.
Now the swing line stapler. Okay, the swing line stapler adoration, I'd like to call it. A lot of it came from Office Space, did it not?
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's what triggered my interest in it. That was the first time I had watched Office Space, and then I was like, I need to have it.
That's crazy.
That's literally the reason. So yeah,
Office Space was just a big swing line like advertisement. That's all it was.
Totally. Yeah, that's. We need to watch that movie again. I haven't watched that movie in a few years.
Oh my god, I could think of a few movies I'd like to go back and watch for sure. Caddyshack's probably one of them.
It's good. Yeah.
Stripes with Bill Murray. That was an amazing movie. Yeah. You could go back in time. And anyways, Rob, this was great. This was a great way to spend my Sunday evening and Sunday afternoon. And thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Pleasure's all mine, gentlemen. Shoot. Thanks for the invite, man. Shoot. I can't believe it's been an hour already.
I know it's crazy how
this
fast
won't be the last
one.
I tell you that much.
No, it definitely won't.
Most definitely. I'd love to be back on.
No, pay attention around right around the 5th of May. We're going to be trying to set up our anniversary get together. So the 5th of May is actually our 2nd year anniversary as the Crypto Campfire. So we're looking to do a huge virtual get together and have anybody that has been on previous episodes and anybody that wants to come on and just hang out with us for the evening. We're looking to do something like that. So stay tuned.
Oh yes, and there will be NFT giveaways and NFT merch giveaways. And if you don't know what that is, just wait to the new iteration of the Crypto Campfire merch store.
Oh, right. There you go.
Oh, that was a big plug. Boop boop. Give that shit out.
Yeah.
Guys, until next time, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the show. Without you guys, we wouldn't have a voice and we wouldn't have a show. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, you guys have yourselves a good one.
Take it easy.
See you guys. Much
love.
Have a good one, Rob. Thanks so much for coming on the show. This was a blast.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. It was good to meet you face to face, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
More of these for sure.
Oh yeah.